Have you ever wondered how great it would be if flying cars existed? Can we really expect flying cars by 2025? But first of all, it is important to know that the current infrastructure of all roads is not the most ideal for potentially flying cars. As a matter of fact, it is not good at all. It would be basically mandatory for potential flying cars to have their own infrastructure, which will be adjusted and regulated according to their features and will be drastically different from normal infrastructures, which can be seen on every highway on Earth. For example, the urban planning of many cities full of skyscrapers like New York City would have to change drastically with the introduction of flying cars. Another example regarding the different infrastructures required for flying cars would be exits with ramps.
There are 3 tiers, one for intersections, one for emergency lane, and one for fast lane.
Allowing drivers to get to different lanes, such as the fast or the emergency lanes, thus reducing traffic congestion on the ground. All these flying lanes would have to be regulated and monitored, just like the routes that airplanes must take to avoid accidents or disastrous collisions with other vehicles. Turbulences are also going to be a problem because just like aircraft or helicopters might get hit by them, flying cars could also get hit by some. All of this leads to another important point about the current infrastructure that we have in our hands right now, not having developed a safe enough structure for cars that could allow them to resist powerful winds. As far as technology is concerned, we are not that far. A Californian-based company, Aleph Aeronautics, is developing a brand new flying car, which many people believe will be released at the end of 2025, and the car's production has also been approved by the FAA. However, there is an issue that arises with the production of this car, and believe it or not, this exact issue has something to do with the currently available technology, that issue being its top speed. Although not many people talk about the top speed of this car as a problem, it most definitely is. That's because its top speed is 25 miles per hour, which is incredibly slow and could potentially represent a speed standard as far as the first flying cars are concerned. Therefore, the key takeaway from all of this is that we currently have outstanding technology, which will definitely allow us to have some flying cars even soon. However, we do not have a kind of technology that is potent enough for us to witness the creation of flying cars that can reach absurd speeds, such as 200 miles per hour or more. But besides this speed-related issue, we basically have enough technology to start the development of flying cars, and that's also due to the implementation of GPS satellites, which will be able to provide maps of all the new lanes and roads, just like they do with a normal car. Flying cars has several pros and cons, so let's start by analyzing the cons. Firstly, the survival rate of accidents while driving a flying car would be extremely low, and that's simply because you are not on a normal road, but you are actually flying with your car. Hence, you have to be far more careful if you do not want to get in a car crash and fall to the ground, along with your car immediately afterward. The second, pretty hilarious but still important con will be the difficulty of putting signs in the sky. This sounds very weird, due to the task itself. However, it is pretty much obvious that the only signs that drivers will see of flying cars will be the ones on the car's little display screen. Otherwise, there literally won't be a way to signal people to do or not to do something specific, no matter what it is. The third con is the cost. That's because most people have normal jobs with a fixed monthly salary. Hence, even if they somehow manage to buy a flying car, they would have loads and loads of problems maintaining it, with all the necessary maintenance procedures that we all already know from our experiences with our road cars. The fourth con is actually more about car enthusiasts. They would probably have a very hard time enjoying these brand new floating machines, simply due to their ridiculously low top speed, since making supercars capable of flying during the first years of production would be pretty dangerous for everybody due to the lack of experience in handling a flying car. The fifth con would be the weather. Of course, if you consider the best possible options, such as sunny days or just cloudy days, then the weather will not be that big of an issue. However, let's imagine the worst scenario. Imagine you are flying in your car and it starts pouring outside, raining so badly that it even starts to hail. Now, you would have no option but to hope that you make it back home safely and without your car starting to break down in the middle of the sky. The sixth and last con would involve training requirements. For someone to be able to drive a flying car, they will most likely have to undergo specialized training that will include their own separate driving license, thus potentially limiting general accessibility to flying cars. Now it is time for the pros. The first absolutely noteworthy advantage will be the reduced traffic congestion on virtually every road on Earth.
You could just zip right over them, get to your final destination in like 10-15 minutes. That's great.
Making things far quicker and easier for everyone who still drives normal road cars. Secondly, another benefit must be considered is that fewer animals will get killed by cars, since most animals that fall victim to our iron powerhouses are ground animals. The third benefit will be the possibility of enjoying some breathtaking views. Thanks to the altitude provided by the flying cars, which is something that already happens on airplanes to a degree, but being able to admire a fantastic landscape from your car window while being completely suspended in the air is surely a thing that you do not want to miss out on. The fourth advantage will definitely be the possibility to drive along with your friends while being suspended up in the open sky, which makes a very good memory. The fifth benefit is a crucial one, and that's because it is about emergency response. Having flying cars will allow emergency responders to intervene as quickly as possible due to the fact that they will drive in the air and not on roads on the ground that are packed with an unbelievable amount of traffic. The sixth advantage is a very obvious but important one, the time-saving component of flying cars. Flying cars will greatly aid this because avoiding traffic-packed roads will save many people's time. The seventh and last advantage will solve a lot of people's problems. Thanks to flying cars, there would be a heavily reduced need for parking in crowded urban areas, thus enabling people who drive normal road cars to find places to park their cars easily. Although indeed we are far from having the ultimate flying car model, the technological advancements of the last decade definitely allow us to include flying cars in the conversation, which just 50 years ago would have been considered some sort of weird science-fictional utopia, but is now fully doable and a closer possibility than it has ever been. Many people just believe that flying cars will fail as products due to their initial inefficiency. Still, many people are incredibly happy at the thought of driving a car in the sky. They basically don't care about any of the technicalities such as low top speeds, weather conditions becoming a life-threatening issue more than ever before, the very low survival rates of flying car accidents, and the limitations of a new driving license that will be required to drive all the brand new flying cars. If you want to know more about the development of the first Aleph Aeronautics flying car on Earth, visit the Global Update YouTube channel. And if you enjoyed this video, please support us by subscribing to our channel so we can continue creating content like this. Thanks for watching.